You're up.
Mr. Mayor, the first thing I think should be on this list is you need to have a serious conversation about the basic competence of the attorneys that you pay. Starting with Thomas Melody, who's making about $200 an hour to sit here during these board meetings from the firm Klein Thorpe Jenkins. That law firm has gotten in trouble all over this area in the South Atlantic by giving bad legal advice to public bodies that then the public bodies violate the Open Meetings Act, the Freedom of Information Act. You have acknowledged that the Attorney General had to caution you about the problems with the Open Meetings Act that you have had recently. At every one of these meetings, Thomas Melody has been there. Why hasn't that man told you that you were going to be in violation of the Open Meetings Act? The one that really irks me that you didn't acknowledge, on February 4th, Art Pierce, who I don't see in the room, but he presided over that planning commission meeting, the public came to ask questions at that meeting of Amy Connolly, and it turned out that that was the last meeting that she would be speaking. She was actually answering some questions that night before she lawyered up and clammed up. Art Pierce stopped people from speaking. He told them that they were not allowed to address questions to her. And that is a violation of the Open Meetings Act that Thomas Melody was well aware of. He should have stopped Art Pierce. He should have allowed people to speak to Amy Connolly to ask questions of her. Because under our Open Meetings Act, you are not allowed as a government body to restrict someone's speech and say who they cannot or can address during a meeting. These are basic competence issues. When Thomas Melody was sitting right there, he should have stopped that. The other concern that I have is in emails that have been produced already under the Freedom of Information Act. Back in June of 2015, I believe June 24th and June 25th of 2015, the Buckeye Hope Foundation was putting pressure on Amy Connolly to sign some document that was needed for the HUD credits, the tax credits, the IHDA, whatever that is. And they were actually saying to her in these emails, "Oh, Amy, we'll just fill out all the paperwork for you. You just have to sign it. You have to fill it out." Amy actually, in these emails, had a question about whether she was able to do that. She states in emails that she went to the attorney and asked him if she was allowed to sign those documents. And Thomas Melody from Klein Thorpe Jenkins, if I'm incorrect, correct me now, I believe you were the attorney that gave her advice on that.
You're incorrect.
Well, then who from Klein Thorpe Jenkins gave her that advice that she was allowed to sign those papers? Because here's what happened. In the email Amy sent back to Buckeye, she states, "I spoke with the attorney today." I believe this was on June 25th of 2015. She states, "I spoke with the attorney, and the attorney said I can sign it, but I have to put a qualifying statement under my signature." Who in their right mind would sign a document if they have to then put a qualifying statement saying, "I'm not authorized to sign the document"? What attorney gave her that advice? If that is from Klein Thorpe Jenkins, I think that is evidence enough for you as a board to have a serious conversation about the basic competence of your legal representation, especially when he is sitting at meetings and Open Meetings Act and other violations happen. What the heck is going on? That man should not be allowed to be billing for legal advice he is giving you that causes you to violate the Open Meetings Act. That is just unacceptable, sir. You should apologize to the village, Thomas Melody, for not stepping in, not stopping those violations. And whoever was giving Amy advice that she is allowed to sign documents that she's not authorized to sign, and saying that, she can just write an explanation under her signature, that is the most absurd thing I've ever heard. So it concerns me, and I'm wrapping up my point, it concerns me that Thomas Melody has his fingers on the process of picking this law firm to be advised. Well, if Klein Thorpe Jenkins is involved in these shenanigans involving Amy and Buckeye, how are you able to then give advice on what firm should be looking into this? That concerns me, sir.